All right, guys, so now we're going to get into a really important part of ES6, and that's arrow functions or fat arrow functions. And they give us a lot of benefit in terms of saving lines of code, making things look neater, lexical this, which I'll talk about, and I'll give you an example. I kind of already did back in the HTTP library we created, but I'm going to revisit that. So let's start off by just creating a couple simple arrow functions. So I just have my index.html here, and it's just a blank page. We just have an h1. We're linking the app.js file. So let's open up app.js, and let's first just create a regular function expression. So I'm going to say const, we'll call this say hello, and we'll set it to a function. Okay, nothing new, and we're just going to console.log, and we're going to log the text hello. All right, and then we'll just go down here and we'll say hello, and we'll save and run, and we just get hello. So this is nothing new. We've seen this already. So let's turn this into an arrow function. So what I'm going to do is copy this and show you the steps to convert it into an arrow function. And there's basically only two in this situation. So first of all, you don't want the function keyword. Get rid of that. So you're just left with these parentheses, and then in the middle of the parentheses and the opening curly brace, you want to put an arrow, which is an equal sign and a greater than sign. All right, so now if we go ahead and comment this out and save, we get hello. Okay, same thing. Now we can make this even more compact since the function body is only one line. So for instance, we can say const say hello, set it to an arrow, and then instead of opening a code block or parentheses or curly braces, we can simply say console.log hello. All right, so if I comment this out and save, it still works. So I'll put a comment here and we'll say one line function does not need braces. Okay, same thing with return. If we want to return something, so let's say const say hello, and then let's say we want to return a string of hello. Now if I were to comment this out and run it, we're not going to get anything because we're just returning this. We're not console logging it. So down here we would actually have to console.log the actual function to do that. All right, but this is much simpler than doing say hello equals function, opening up a set of curly braces and using the return keyword, and then hello. All right, so if I comment this out, that's going to do the same thing. So we'll say one line returns. Now where you can get, actually let me just put a comment here, we'll say same as above. Now where you can run into trouble is when you're returning an object literal. All right, so if I were to take this, instead of returning hello, let's say we wanted to return an object literal with message hello, like that. So if we save that, we're going to get undefined because basically it's looking at this as the function body instead of an object literal. So to fix this, all you have to do is wrap this in parentheses. If we save that now, you'll see it'll actually log the object. All right, so let's say return object. So what if we have parameters? So const say hello equals arrow. Okay, and let's go in here and let's say that this takes in a name, and then we want to console log. We'll put some backticks in here and we'll say hello name. Okay, so we can do that, and then we don't need the console log anymore because we're actually doing that within the function body. So let's just pass in Brad and save, and we get hello Brad. All right, now if it's a single parameter like this, we don't even need parentheses. So save, and that will still work. So we'll say single param does not need parentheses. Okay, now if we have more than one parentheses, like let's say we want to do first name, comma, last name, and then say hello, first name. Actually, we'll put the last name in there as well. Okay, so if we do that, you'll see there's an error in VS Code already. And if I were to pass in, we need quotes here. So save, and we get an error because if there's more than one parameter, then they need to be wrapped in parentheses like that. And now we save. We just need to comment this out. Save, and we get hello Brad Traversy. And just to show you again, if I remove those parentheses and we try that, we get an error. Okay, missing initializer and const. Even if we put let, still not going to work. Unexpected token. So just make sure if you have more than one parameter or argument that you use your parentheses. So we'll say multiple params need parentheses. Now we can also use arrow functions as callbacks. So for instance, let's create an array of users. So we'll say Nathan, John, William. And let's say we want to use the map function. So I'm going to say const name lengths equals, and let's say users dot map, and then that takes in a function. Okay, we'll pass in user. Actually, let's pass in name, and then we're going to return name dot length. All right, and then we'll go down here and we'll console.log name lengths. And we get an array of 6, 4, and 7. So that's the length of each one of these users. All right, and that's what map is used for, is to map different things, and it returns an array of something different, such as the length in this case. Now, we could make this a little shorter by using an arrow function. So instead of passing in function here, we could go like this. Just a simple arrow, and we'll go ahead and comment this one out. Okay, we get the same thing. Okay, so that is shorter. And then let's do shortest. So instead of doing that, we could do const name length equals users dot map, and then in here we'll just say name, not console.log. We want to return name dot length. All right, we'll go ahead and comment that out and save, and we get the same thing. All right, so this is much easier and cleaner than having to do this or even this. So now I just want to jump into the fetch example that we did in the last video and show you how we can clean that up with arrow functions. All right, guys, so this is the fetch example. So right here we say dot then instead of just doing function res return res dot text. What we could do is take that out completely and just do then res and then return res dot JSON like that. All right, and then for this part, we can take out the function. Actually, all we have to do is say data and go like that. Okay, and then for the catch, we can take that out. So we can say catch, and we'll just put in, we don't even need parentheses since it's just one parameter, and we'll say console.log error. All right, so let's save that and click Get Text. Unexpected T in JSON. Let's see what I do here. Oh, I use JSON here. This should be text, sorry. And there we go. So that looks much cleaner. Let's do the same thing down here. Instead of function res return JSON, we can simply do res arrow res.json. Instead of function data, we can simply say data, put an arrow there, and then instead of doing this, we can say error console.log error. All right, so if I click Get JSON, there we go, works the same way. And then for this part, the external, again, we just want to map res to res.json. And then data like that. And then error to console.log error. All right, so now we'll try that, get API data, and we get our GitHub users. All right, so this makes this look much cleaner. And you already saw back in the Ajax library when we did the, this self equals this, we had to do that. We didn't have to do it if we use an arrow function because arrow functions use a lexical this, okay? So you don't have to worry about the scope of the function when using this. And you'll see more examples of that as we move along. All right, so I just wanted to do a quick overview of arrow functions or fat arrow functions. In the next video, we're going to start on the fetch version and the ES6 version of the Easy HTTP library.